So this is not a normal TE video, and I owe you all an apology. It has been way too long since we did a video update for our end credits. So I know not everybody sticks around until the end of the video, and that's totally okay. I very often don't do the same thing when I'm watching videos from other creators. So you might not even know that at the end of our video, when we say thank you for watching, we give a shout out to the people who have made our videos possible by donating through Patreon or YouTube. And we also have a list of all of the names of all of the people who support the channel. And getting that done every week, especially lately, has proven to be a challenge. And the current list of names that we've been putting out there are people who have joined up or started donating a while back now. And I know that there's been many people who have joined up recently to support us who we haven't said thank you to, and I feel really bad about it. When we make those end credits, how it works is we have to log into YouTube, we have to log into Patreon, we have to download a list of names of people who support the channel. We used to do it using an app that recently stopped working. I say recently, about 8 months ago it stopped working properly and it started missing people off. And then more recently we went back to doing it the old-fashioned way, which is where we download the list of names, I manually sort it based on tier level, and then I export that list of names. And then Erin has to manually enter those into the animation program she uses, and then we have to render that list out. We then write a custom end script, which I record and Kate records, one for each video that we do. We normally absolutely butcher everyone's names, and for that I am sorry. And then we publish it, and we try and use it in a video for a week. Unfortunately though, due to the world, I'm just gonna say it, due to the world's state right now, it's been difficult for us to get everything done in a timely fashion every single week. And I don't want to make excuses, but I also want to let you know what's going on so you don't feel that we're ignoring you. So the first thing that's happened is there's been a change of availability for press cars. I've talked before about how difficult it is to get press cars, and I've spoken to others in the industry. You might have seen our video recently that I did on your local EV, your favorite EV journalists are going away, or support your local journalists. Lots of channels have just ceased to exist in the last 6 months to a year. Lots of news websites have shut up shop or have changed their output. The most recent, of course, was Green Car Reports, which was a website I used to work for. It was the website that got me started in EV journalism. And a lot of the things that have been happening because car companies are favoring influencers over journalists and making it harder for journalists to get hold of cars. We have been experiencing that, and one of the local press fleets that we've been working with has been not great on communication. We were due to have a car last week, which then suddenly we didn't have, and then we got it yesterday. So our schedule for filming has been really screwed up, and that makes it very difficult for us to add end credits every week, because if we don't know what's going to be happening, we don't know where people are going to be, we don't know who's going to be where and when and how. If you add to that the fact that Kate only works 2 days a week, because I couldn't afford her full-time. I would love to pay her full-time. I don't know if Kate would want to work full-time, because Kate likes having time off as well. But she works Mondays and Tuesdays, which means we have to record the end credits for her on a Monday or a Tuesday. The last couple of Mondays and Tuesdays have been absolutely pulling your hair out on fire for us as a channel. And I've been doing a lot of extra, I guess, business development work. We are spinning off a production company from this channel with the goal of trying to do non-EV production work, like non-car, non-EV production work locally in Portland to try and pay these bills. We've had a real increase in trollage, like really nasty trolls of late, one of whom made so many overt threats relating to guns, and I've tried reporting them, and obviously the police are doing nothing. In fact, the last time I talked to the police about it, they were like, there's not a lot we can do. YouTube doesn't do anything about it. But when you know, I was going to go to this event next week in the wine country in California, and it was an event that I was going to be advertised as being at, and I decided that the risk was just too great in the US right now with politics the way it is for me to go to an event and make it known I was going to be there, because the number of people who have threatened to change my physical state of matter to one that would not be compatible with continuing to produce content is quite scary. And while I don't want people to feel sorry for us, I also have not been planning stuff as much in advance. What's that to do with me not putting the names out on the end credits? Well, a lot of that takes up mental energy, and a lot of the basic stuff, the basic functionality of just existing has been kind of tough lately for all of us, for different reasons. But all of us on the team are a target in one way or another. And so we've been trying to keep ourselves safe. We've been trying to double down and make sure that we have mental space to provide content that's great for you and uplifting and instructional and inspirational, and not just content for content's sake. And that's taken up a little bit more time if you flow in the fact that we're trying to launch this production company, because our trolls... I'm pausing because I don't know how much I can say, but let's just say that trolls led to us losing a contract that we had. And I don't know that for a fact, but reading between the lines and the conversations that I've had with who is now a former client about what was otherwise a very good working relationship has led me to believe that people figured out that there was a connection and trolled our client to the point that the contract was broken because people were pushing back against them as well as us, and that wasn't something that they were happy about. But it lost us a lot of money, like 10% of our income, and without a way to make that up, I don't know what our future looks like. And this is purposely unedited, by the way. It's purposely quite basic. We're just going to colour it and push it out. But that's been scary. And I know that other creators who are queer or somewhere on the LGBTQIA plus spectrum are getting similar things. I know other naturalized citizens are getting similar things. It's not that suddenly people in the US suddenly all think that we should be deported, or that we are bad people, or that we deserve not to exist. But when you embolden somebody who espouses those ideals and you elevate them to a position of power, other people who have those same ideals, however wrong they may be, are emboldened to make threats because they believe that they are not going to have to deal with the consequences. And obviously in the US, January 6th, offenders were all pardoned for the stuff they did, and therefore that's a signal to those who might follow similar dog whistles to those in power about everything from, you know, white supremacy to economics, that people who are trying to actually provide facts and back that up with science and actual cold hard data are often being sidelined and marginalized and threatened, and we are definitely being threatened right now. And that has led me to really withdraw. It's led the team to really withdraw. I know that's not been helped by the I'm going to swear in a few seconds. I know I try not to swear, but I feel like I need to say it. The bullshit that is happening in the UK right now regarding trans individuals, you know, having a government that once helped you 20 years ago get all of the right papers you needed to be legally safe and not out yourself in public and be protected, to suddenly have that same government turn around and say, oh yeah, we want you to go and go to the bathroom in the bathroom that you were that aligns with your sex assigned at birth, is terrifying, especially for someone like me. I don't talk about it much, but I am I am someone who is I am a double SA abuse survivor. And if you don't know what that is, please don't put a please don't comment what does that mean in the comments. Use Google. Figure it out. I use that term in an attempt to not be triggering to other people who are in the same boat, but suffice to say, bad things happened to me when I was a teenager, when I was younger, before I was a teenager. And the thought of being forced to go into the restroom that I do not fit in, when there is a risk that I could be identified, I would be identified immediately, looking like this going into the men's room. Would I I'm sorry, I'm struggling with this. I would be identified as somebody to target, to abuse, to assault, to arrest, pick your poison. That is really hard and has been taking a lot of my cycles, and it's why I haven't done a whole lot more on my Vectrix. I've been wanting to make progress on that video, and I've been slowly buying parts for it. But actually sitting down and figuring out and finding the time and the energy to actually make that video is hard. It's scary. So in short, I feel like I've let everyone down by not saying thank you, and I wanted to say thank you because without all of your support, we wouldn't exist. And yes, there is a shortfall of nearly $2,000 a month that I've got to somehow find money for. And I know that there's going to be a bunch of people commenting, go woke, go broke, ha ha ha, you suck, you're shit, you deserve to die, 41%, or whatever they're saying. Those are comments that we regularly get. And I regularly get text messages, and I regularly get harassed. I never wanted Transport Evolved to be about making money. I've never been interested in money or fame. In fact, I'm an introvert. I quite like not being recognised, although if you meet me and you say hello, it actually brightens my day. Sometimes I might seem a little deer in the headlights. I met a wonderful person last week at a local coffee shop in Hillsborough who was like, hey, I love your stuff. And it took me a few minutes to go, oh, thank you. That's, a few seconds. Transport Evolved exists because I genuinely believe that when we have all the information, we are better. We make better choices. And I don't know ultimately what those choices are. And I think we have to live our lives in a way that allows us to be as considerate and kind and intentional about our lives as possible, and do whatever we can to make our lives better. And there are many, many people out there who are willing to hold us up as saying, but you're not doing enough, so you're a bad people, or you're telling us the wrong thing, and they're entitled to that opinion. But TE is a my wife calls it my passion project, and I've got very angry with her in the past for calling it such. But I guess that's what it is. It's my passion project. It's my project that I want to share the message that there is a better way of doing things, and we always have to be constantly striving for better and kinder and smarter and cleaner and greener and more equitable and more sustainable. And I know that, there's an air of hypocrisy right now as I'm driving this big, massive truck. We have been filming. This was a chase car today, so that's why I'm filming this right now. And I'm on my way back to the house, and then for the rest of the week, I will be using our little hatchback to get around like we always do. But I'm sorry that I'm sorry that we haven't kept up our bargain to thank people, and I feel terrible about it. Know that you are appreciated. Know that I am going to do my absolute best to try and get those names updated more regularly. And if you have a way that you think would be a better way for us to give shout outs to people, please let me know. Because I don't want people to feel ignored. I hate feeling ignored myself. So I know how that feels, and I know that it's not nice and it's not cool. So let's figure out a way of making what we do here at this channel better. Please be patient with us as I spend more time trying to spin out a new production company that's separate and distinct from this channel. And, my end goal of all of that is if I can bring in commercial production work for our team, and I can pay the bills, then we can continue to do what we do. I don't know how we're going to find the time to do that all, but that's a me problem, not a you problem. Anyway, if you keep watching, keep supporting us, I figure we can find a way through this. And like I always say in our videos, get active, get vocal. If you don't like the way things are going, get out and do something about it. Voting is a part of that, but it's certainly not the be all and end all. There has to be something else too. So thank you for listening. Sorry this sorry is long. Sorry I said sorry. I'm British and Canadian. Sorry is kind of part of my DNA. And I promise the next video will be much, much more upbeat. Keep evolving.